Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, police are investigating a fatal shooting in Katy that left 3 people dead. In another fatal shooting in Humble over the weekend, 2 men now wanted for capital murder. And a local man is facing charges of burglary after an arrest made this morning.
We're getting a very important break in the weather. You can see it's cloudy, but we're not getting any rainfall. The problem is more heavy rain is expected, probably even more than what we got this morning. So we'll be talking about potential for flooding a little bit later on.
A win for the Biden administration in one legal battle over the removal of razor wire along the U.S. southern border. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. We begin with weather this evening, so let's toss it over to Mac for the latest.
Well, thank you very much. We still have an alert day for tomorrow and for Wednesday because of more heavy rain expected. We got 3 to 4 inches just last night, and this morning it was we're getting a nice little break here, as you see right about there. But if we take the wider view, you can see there's a whole ton of moisture out here that's going to be going up and into our area soonest, well, let's see, tomorrow morning. So we are expecting more heavy rain, and we are likely to have a little bit of flooding by the time we get to Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So we'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment. Back to you, Karina.
Mac, thank you. 23-year-old Rebecca Hart was sentenced to 45 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder in Luis. The Wharton Journal-Spectator reports that she admitted she killed her 2-year-old son, Daniel Esquima, on May 9th of 2022. Authorities say the boy suffered repeated physical abuse and neglect and was malnourished. He died of extensive injury and head trauma. 28-year-old Aaron Martinez pleaded guilty to murder in Wharton County. The Wharton Journal-Spectator reports Martinez shot to death Adam Saenz on April 27th of 2022 at Saenz' home on Alice Street in El Campo following a family dispute. Martinez was sentenced to 17 years in prison. Authorities said Saenz' family consented to the plea agreement. This week, workers will move soil contaminated by a chemical leak at the Port of Victoria out of the port. San Patricio County Sheriff Oscar Rivera says they're expecting 50 to 60 trucks of soil starting Thursday. The soil will go to U.S. Ecology in Robstown, a waste facility designed to handle that kind of material. The oil and chemical spill at the Shamrock Products Terminal at the Port of Victoria happened January 3rd. Authorities say about 300 barrels of crude oil and diesel were leaked. Victoria police arrested 30-year-old Jaime Ortega this morning in the 3100 block of Arroyo Drive. He is charged with burglary of a home. He was also taken into custody on a warrant for a violation of probation for burglary of a home. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $70,000 bond. At least 3 people are dead and 2 others injured in a shooting at a short-term rental property in Katy. Police believe more than 12 people had been inside the home early Sunday morning when someone opened fire. It's unclear if the shooter or shooters crashed the gathering or if they were invited.
It appears there were a number of people inside the residence, possibly just guessing between 10 to 20 people. We're told it was some type of short-term rental, possibly Airbnb. Outside of the house along the street, we also have some firearms evidence there, so there's evidence that other people were shooting outside of the residence.
That shooting is still under investigation. In Humble, a convenience store worker is dead after police say he confronted 2 guys who stole a bag of chips. The confrontation was all caught on camera, and now these 2 men are wanted for capital murder.
Just before 11:30 Friday, this surveillance camera captured 2 men in black hoodies entering a Sunoco off Will Clayton Parkway. The employee they're accused of soon killing followed right behind.
No one ever anticipates just going to work that day and not coming home.
Video released by Humble Police shows them pacing the store, zeroing in on the chip aisle as that employee, a manager says of only a few months, mops the floor. One of the suspects then appears to put a bag of chips in his pants. The 2 of them spend a bit longer in the store and leave just 2 minutes after entering.
A 42-year-old worker of that store who tried to confront them They had a verbal altercation.
That conversation captured in this video outside the store, the last video investigators have before police say the employee followed them in his car.
They started shooting at him, in which he tried to reverse his car and ended up on the median over there.
Detectives focused on the victim's car with bullet holes in the windshield and back passenger window.
You've lost a great citizen who was just trying to work and do their job, and instead we have two people that also have ruined their lives because they will be going to jail.
Police are still searching for those two suspects. One person has a minor injury after a two-vehicle wreck in Jackson County. It happened this morning on U.S. Highway 59 southbound at the Lavaca River Bridge just south of Edna. The inside lane on Highway 59 was temporarily closed but has now been reopened. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing the Border Patrol to remove razor wire along a portion of the U.S. southern border with Mexico, handing a victory to the Biden administration in a 5-4 vote. The ruling applies to a section of the Rio Grande where state leaders had blocked access to border agents. 3 migrants recently drowned in that area, prompting the White House to press Supreme Court to intervene. Texas has also placed buoys in the river near Eagle Pass to stop migrants from crossing. That floating barrier is also the subject of a legal battle between the state of Texas and the Biden administration. Now to the race for the White House. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has suspended his bid for president and instead endorsed Donald Trump. It's now a two-person race with polls showing Trump could deliver a knockout blowout over his former UN ambassador.
With just one day to go until voters in New Hampshire head to the polls, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley crisscrossing the state in what is now a two-person showdown for the Republican presidential nomination.
That's why I'm excited, as tomorrow is the big day.
The two-way stage set after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis suddenly suspended his 2024 campaign, setting aside his criticisms of Donald Trump.
You could be the lousiest Republican in America, but if you kiss the ring, he likes you.
To back the former president instead. But Trump, who says he's honored to have the endorsement, in an interview on Fox News said he's not quite ready to consider DeSantis for his administration.
You know, I have to be honest, everything's a possibility, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Nikki Haley has it all on the line here in New Hampshire. She spent 41 days in the Granite State compared to Trump's 15, as he split his time between the courtroom and the campaign trail. Even today, in New York City, where he was expected to testify in E. Jean Carroll's defamation case, the trial postponed due to a juror's illness. Trump's team asking the judge to delay his testimony until Wednesday so that he can be in New Hampshire for the primary.
When you hear Trump speak, what's he talking about? Grievances? The past? He's talking about vendettas? Today he's in court?
Trump maintains an 11-point lead over Nikki Haley with 50% of support among likely Republican voters, according to a new CNN University of New Hampshire poll. Trump and Haley voters say these issues matter most.
Right now I'm deathly afraid of immigration.
This election, basically the economy and foreign affairs.
And Nikki Haley is projecting confidence. She says even if Donald Trump wins by more than 10 points tomorrow, it is not game over for her. She says the goal was always to be stronger here in New Hampshire as she looks to her home state of South Carolina to get ahead. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Back in Victoria, early voting for mayor of Victoria runs through January 30th. Early voting is at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, located at 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. You can vote this week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On January 29th and 30th, you can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On the ballot is Josephine Solis, Peter Brown, Robert, Bob Constantine, Jacob Sauceda, Carissa Winters, and Dwayne Crocker. Join us Saturday, February 3rd for complete coverage of the special election. Now, a specially called Victoria ISD board meeting is going on today at the administration building at 102 Profit Drive. There's a public hearing on the district's Texas academic performance report. The board will also discuss and take action to select a property and casualty insurance broker, plus a board subcommittee created to address teacher and staff compensation will make its report. Board members will also hear a budget status update. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. The humanitarian crisis continues to worsen in Gaza. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, we hear the latest warnings from the World Food Program. Also ahead, nearly 70 million people are under winter weather alert as a new winter storm is set to hit parts of the U.S. today. The World Food Program chief is warning of the limited access to food and water in the Gaza Strip. WFP reported 97% of Palestinian households in northern areas and 83% in the south have inadequate food consumption, with many going at least one day without eating. Additionally, the average daily clean water consumption levels range between 1.5 to 1.8 liters per person across the Gaza Strip. This is way below the 15 liters minimum average volume of water for drinking and hygiene per person daily. A new study suggests that a simple blood test could screen for Alzheimer's disease before a patient has any symptoms. The test screens for one of several proteins that build up in people with Alzheimer's. Right now, that type of testing involves brain scans or spinal taps, which can be expensive and very hard to access. But the study found the new, simpler blood test was just as accurate. The test is currently available for research use only, but the study's author says it should be available for clinical use soon. New research by the American Cancer Society shows that cancer cases are rising among U.S. adults under 50. But no matter the age, when cancer strikes, early detection is critical.
When it comes to cancer detection, pathologists typically review slides under a microscope to help determine a diagnosis.
At our institute, we've launched a digital pathology program, which allows us to convert that class slide into millions of pixels, which can be reviewed remotely by a second pathologist.
Dr. Anil Parwani with the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center says they're now testing new technology involving artificial intelligence, using algorithms to detect and grade cancer.
When we are detecting cancer using glass slides under the microscope, we are limited to how many people can see it, how many people I can consult with. But once it's in a digital format, not only can an expert review it, but we can then apply artificial intelligence algorithms to detect cancer.
Parwani says the algorithms can be trained to detect specific types of the disease like prostate or breast cancer and not only catch the cancer, but also determine how much cancer is present in the biopsy and potentially may provide information to help with the prognosis of the disease.
So we are in a very exciting time in diagnostic pathology because we have all these new tools available to us, which can help oncologists, which can help cancer patients like never before.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Today marks the 51st anniversary of the landmark Roe v. Wade decision on January 2nd of 1973. The Supreme Court legalized abortion in the United States. That decision also legalized other privacy matters about family and relationships. Then in June of 2022, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ruling there was no constitutional right to abortion. Today, President Joe Biden's reflection campaign is making reproductive rights a focal point of the campaign. Another winter storm is set to hit parts of the plains and south today, while warmer air moves into the eastern half of the U.S. this week. This month, back-to-back storms have killed more than 18 people across 13 states. Now, nearly 70 million people from northern Texas to the Great Lakes are under winter weather alerts. Along the Gulf Coast and portions of the southeast, approximately 37 million people are under threat of flash flooding and excessive rainfall just this week. Leading us to your viewer poll this afternoon, you can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, are you seeing flooding issues in your neighborhood? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We had a good rain. So far, no major problems, but it was a record rainfall for today. We are now currently at 64 degrees. Our temperatures are balmy. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we could be up to almost 70 degrees. That's way above where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be about 65. The rainfall was a record, 3.43 inches at the airport. Brings our month just to 5 inches. The problem is we expect another big round of rain, and so we're going to be talking about that coming up in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. It was a significant rainfall today. The problem is we have another weather alert for tomorrow and for Wednesday because we're looking for more heavy rainfall. And now the first one was great, but everything is now pretty much soggy. So additional 2 and 3, 4 inches will probably cause a little bit more flooding than what we had today. So just keep that in mind. in the city, you know, we have storm drains that take it out into the lower areas, but in the county areas where you're going to get water running off roadways, I just want you to be on the lookout for that. And that's for Tuesday and Wednesday in pretty much all of the Crossroads area. Right at now, we see the rain already moved away from our area, the heavy stuff, little bitty stuff just moving back up into the sea drift area right about there in Calhoun County, but we're rain free in Victoria County. However, it is not over with just yet because you have to look upstream. And here it is, a ton of Pacific moisture that's spinning around Mexico and then will be turning up into our area tomorrow and Wednesday, and give us another significant shot of rainfall. Temperatures are balmy in the 60s, and we should be in the 70s tomorrow with the rainfall, but it's all southerly winds and everything's sort of primed in the atmosphere. We got the southerly winds bringing up the moisture. We've got that upper wind pulling up a lot of moisture, so we have a lot of what we call vertical ascent. In other words, we take this moisture and take it up high, chill it out, and it becomes rainfall. Now here is Victoria, and there you see the county. There you see the significant rainfall that we had out to the east, and then the even heavier stuff that we had just north of San Antonio up in Austin. They had tremendous flooding up there. Now here's Future Tracker. You can see how the cloud deck does sort of hang out, but the heavy rain moves away. But what happens here? Ah, yes, by tomorrow afternoon, another round of big thunderstorms rolling through the area, probably after lunchtime tomorrow, and then through Wednesday night, another big surge. So 2 more surges of heavy rain moving through the area before we finally start getting a little bit of a clearing out of this. I think, you know, by the time we get to Thursday, things will be a little bit easier on us. Here's another reason why the warm air is moving northbound. We've got the cold air lifting it behind. So you've got the, whenever you take the air up into the upper atmosphere and you cool it down, you get this precipitation. So this is your Wednesday morning. Then Thursday, we finally see a break. The little front comes through. The storm system itself starts moving away. We have another little one behind it for Friday, but this shouldn't be much of a factor. And let's take a look at your extended outlook and, of course, your day planner. So, like I said, the rain is not over. Tomorrow in Port Lavaca, showers, 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 pretty much all day long with the southeast wind and fairly mild weather. And then we get thunderstorms in Cuero with, again, temperatures in the 60s, almost 70 degrees. So what does it look like? All right, so we have the alert day for Tuesday and Wednesday because late in the afternoon, big stormy weather, overnight stormy weather. Wednesday night late, this frontal system should come through, and by Thursday we actually sort of settle down, and we've got a little cooler weather as we get into the weekend. So that is your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina with more.
Thank you, Mac. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, the FAA wants airlines to take a closer look at the Boeing 737 airplanes. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 138 points, the S&P 500 up 11 points, and the Nasdaq up 49 points. Oil up $1.78, closing at $75.19 a barrel. The FAA is urging airlines to look closer at the door plugs on an earlier version of the Boeing 737 airplanes. This comes after an incident where a door plug blew out of the side of an updated MAX 9 model on an Alaskan Airlines flight 2 weeks ago. The plane was forced to make an emergency landing. Leaders at the FAA say airlines should visually inspect mid-exit door plugs to make sure the doors are secure. United Airlines says it also found loose bolts on some of its newer MAX 9 planes. San Antonio has a plan to tackle violence with a public health approach. You can read this Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a six-legged dog in the United Kingdom gets a second chance at life. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up tonight from Chicago to Detroit to New York City, the system coming, dangerous driving, freezing rain, the massive fire truck spinning out of control, the U.S. launching new airstrikes. Sarah Ferguson and her personal reveal in her message tonight, and news from Billy Joel. We're next.
Ending for a six-legged dog that had been abandoned in a parking lot. She was named after Ariel, the Disney princess, because her extra back legs were partly fused together, resembling a mermaid tail. But not anymore. Green Acres Rescued in the United Kingdom took in the abandoned spaniel and arranged for her to have surgery to remove the extra limbs. She's now recovering with a foster family and is already walking around, eating and drinking normally. Oh.
Got a real good spirit, you know.
Six-legged puppy though. That's
good
neat.
attitude. That's a little strange. I guess it all happened in there in the micro
It was
stage.
a genetic malfunction.
Yeah, they're like, oops.
Yeah. Extra legs.
But he doesn't look like it bothers him much.
No, he looks like he's doing okay.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, we have of course, very important break in the weather right now. It's not raining heavily, but it is coming back. Tomorrow afternoon, we're looking for another big surge, and we could see some record rainfall again. Today, we were over 3 inches, and we're likely to have more than that. Between Tuesday night and Wednesday night. By Thursday, however, there is a little bit of a clearing, and so I'm calling both days alert days because of the widespread rainfall. And of course, by Wednesday, we also have the possibility of getting a little flooding because now everything's a little bit saturated. Today, I mean, 3 inches of rain, the ground went, took it all in. After Thursday, we do start to clear up, and we've got a fairly good-looking weekend that'll feel more like January with temperatures a little bit cooler. It's rather balmy and tropical out there right about now.
So the weekend is still going to be nice, chill, no rain.
Yes, I think it'll be a cooler weekend and a no-rain weekend. It's just the next 2 days, the next 48 hours we've got to get through this stuff because that big storm, that promised it to you last week. I hope you were ready for it. Brought that substantial amount of moisture into our region. So
that's right. All righty. Thank you, Mac. And thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.